Hey, yo, what is good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Yo and Nerd Podcast. This is episode 11, y'all, and I'm Malcolm McFadden, creator of 615 Comics, and I got another good episode for y'all, and this one is comic packed. I'm looking at my notes right now. It's mostly about comic books, and that's what I'd like to talk about. So, before we get into everything, you already know, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, comment, and then argue with me, yell at me, whatever you want to do, you feel me? Or agree with me, I like that too. And then subscribe to the channel and we can keep that conversation going. You can watch all my videos. I'm getting close to 500 subscribers, so please help me hit that milestone by subscribing to the channel if you're watching this video. Now we got that intro stuff out the way, let's get into it. Let's talk about some comics. And today, the first thing I want to talk about today is top selling comics of July. Okay, I talked about it a little bit in episode 10 of the podcast, talking about something else, but I want to just dive into the top selling comics of July. All right. So by unit, we have number 1, Absolute Batman 10. Number 2, Fantastic Four, number 1. Number 3, Absolute Superman, number 9. Number 4, Batman 161, which is Hush 2, number 4. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, number 1. Absolute Wonder Woman, number 2. Absolute Flash, number 5. Invincible Universe Battle Beasts, number 3, and we're at 9 now. Sorry, I stopped counting the numbers. But number 9 is Marvel Swimsuit Special, Friends, Foes, and Rivals. And number 10 is Absolute Martian Manhunter. All right, now they fill out with it goes all the way up to 50, but I'm looking at the top 10 right now. Filling out the top 20, we have other things like Predator vs. Spider-Man, number 4, Amazing Spider-Man. A lot of Spider-Man books are in the top 20. So, wanted to get talking about this a little bit. As you see, last episode I talked about, DC kind of being the top dog, and you kind of see that here with them actually blowing things out the water, which is very interesting to me. Absolute Batman number 10 outsold Fantastic Four number 1, even with the movie out, bro. I know Batman is a high commodity, but that is actually pretty impressive to me that Batman beat Fantastic Four number 1, because number 1s typically sell. Number 1s with DC and Marvel typically go to the top of the list depending on who the hero is for bestsellers. So the fact that an Absolute Batman number 10 beat Fantastic Four number 1 that's actually pretty amazing to me. Also, something that's pretty amazing to me is that Battle Beast from the Ultimate Universe, from the Invincible Universe, is number 8, which is, that is actually the only comic in the top 10 that is not from DC and Marvel. So, I guess the popularity of Invincible has grown, and plus Battle Beast is a dope character himself. So that's actually pretty dope that that's going. But it really looks like the leaders in the comics right now are the Absolute Universe and also the Ultimate Universe. Because when you look at Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man that is on this list is Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 2, and then Ultimate, and that's at 11. And then at 13 we have Ultimate Spider-Man number 19, and then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 8 at 15. All right, so the Absolute and Ultimate Universes seem to be hot sellers for DC and Marvel, which is very dope to me. I think that these are comics that kind of have a starting off point. You feel me? I feel like the Absolute Universe is a lot easier to jump onto than the Ultimate Universe, but they're both very easy to just jump onto, and you don't need really, I think only the Ultimate Universe, you kind of need a backstory for it, but you really don't need a backstory for these. And plus the Ultimate Universe in the comics itself, it gives you a backstory when you first turn the first page. It gives you a backstory of how the Ultimate Universe came about and stuff like that. So that's pretty dope. But it seems like this Absolute and Ultimate Universe, where it's taking their old characters and putting them in a brand new light and actually changing them a lot. So they're typically normal characters. Like I believe in Ultimate Spider-Man, he's a lot older, and then also in like Absolute Batman, he doesn't have his wealth. Absolute Superman, he actually grew up on Krypton and stuff like that, and Wonder Woman, she doesn't have the Amazons. Wakanda is totally different, you feel me? Wakanda is totally different than Ultimate Black Panther, where now like Bob Burnham has like a consciousness and stuff like that. So I think that's really dope. What DC and Marvel is doing is giving people a place to just start on and jump onto these characters brand new, which helps old readers and new readers. And I think that's pretty dope. And you're seeing that with these top selling comics. Also within these top selling comics that I see at 29, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 10, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are typically popular. I'm looking for some like non-well-known ones. You got G.I. Joe from Image Comics in there. G.I. Joe is at number 32 with G.I. Joe number 9. They know they had so many readers. But yeah, for the most part, and then we got a couple Fantastic Fours that's in the top 20. Number 18, Death of Silver Surfer. Number 19, Fantastic Four. But for the most part, it really does seem like the Alternate Universe and Absolute Universe is really killing it in comics. I think that's dope, and I think that actually leads me into my next topic that I want to talk about with the top selling comics. Should DC and Marvel expand past their top sellers? Should they really give into legacy characters? Let's talk about that. Okay, as we know, DC and Marvel has their moneymakers. All right, Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine for Marvel, pretty much. For DC is pretty much Batman, Superman, and throw Wonder Woman in there. You feel me? So those are their moneymakers. And one thing I think has stopped DC from actually getting new readers and having more people jump onto it is that, like with manga has like their storylines where you can easily start and finish. That's what manga, you easily start and finish. There's not like crazy crossovers or anything. It's not like you have to know this universe, this is actually this character from that universe, stuff like that. You feel me? Where DC and Marvel has all this stuff that they've done with crossovers with different universes, reboots and stuff like that. Where I think if DC and Marvel actually had their main universe actually really grow to where their heroes actually get old and actually do die in the main universe, and then you go on to these legacy characters and let them build. That's kind of what happened with Miles. In his universe, Ultimate Universe, Spider-Man died, and then Miles took over as Spider-Man until they integrated his universe with the main universe and stuff like that. I think Dawn of DC or whatever, which they just did, which they was trying to give like the legacy character shine for DC, which went nowhere at all, because the legacy characters they try to give shine don't even have shine right now. But I think that DC could have did this. DC and Marvel could have made the main universe where your superheroes get old and die, like Batman at some point does die, and you have these legacy characters take over and continue the story, and they keep going like that. I think that would be dope. And then you could have Elseworld stories where different writers take on a story for Peter Parker, take on stuff that doesn't have to be in the main continuum. Like you can do like 5, 6 issue comics, or maybe 10 of just Elseworld stories. Like DC does it all the time, like with stories like Injustice, just little stories. Like Batman has different stories all the time that aren't canon to the main universe, but they're Batman stories. Why then, if we're going to do that, let Batman die in the main universe and then keep these stories on the other universe, like then have different writers take them on, and then maybe even have a universe where, you know, it's just the Batman universe where it's not connected to the main universe, where it can just be Bruce Wayne continuing on. You feel me? But in the main universe, I think that some of the legacy characters should have taken over, and more characters should have been given light in like the main comics. I feel like that probably isn't a huge moneymaker for DC and them, but I feel like if you have, well, DC and Marvel, but I feel like you have these Elseworld stories, you have these other stories that tell the stories of these characters and have different writers just take them on for a limited time, man, I think you could definitely do that. Think about this. New 52. Think about if there was like a continued universe where Batman ended up dying, then they did something where the Quarter Owls, where Scott Snyder's run of Batman and New 52 was just like a run of Batman. It was just it wasn't the main story, but it was just this story off to the side, which that used like Batman, his Bat family, and stuff like that. But in the main continue, or the main comics, he's dead. Like we could have got that and it still got a dope story. You feel me? I think DC and Marvel could do something like that. I think maybe they're too far gone to do that now, but I think they could definitely give their legacy characters more shine and done things like the Ultimate Universe and Absolute Universe with their main characters that end up dying in the main universe. If you get what I'm saying? So that's just my thoughts. Tell me what y'all think about it. Let's start a conversation over this. Send me some questions. And if y'all send some questions in these podcasts, I'll answer the questions maybe on my TikTok or in the next episode of the podcast. But tell me what y'all think about that. I think that Batman and Superman and Spider-Man should be dead and that there should be legacy characters like Miles, Jace Fox, Superman's son, John Kent, that should take over the mantles leading forward. And then they should have to deal with the death of their predecessors. That would be dope. That would be fire. Tell me what y'all think about that idea. Okay, and since we're talking about like the big three and things like that, let's talk about Wonder Woman. So, if you don't know, they were working on a Wonder Woman video game. All right, dope Wonder Woman video game. I think they were saying you would be in Themyscira and you would deal with different things, training to be Wonder Woman, and then be Wonder Woman, stuff like that. That got canceled. That got canceled, and that led me to this topic that Wonder Woman needs more content. Wonder Woman easily needs more content. Batman and Superman have so much content. Even she has a lot of comic book content, but she doesn't have as much as them, even in comic books, but even with like animation. Batman and Superman have multiple animated projects, live action projects. Multiple people have played them, whereas Wonder Woman live action so far, we've gotten 2 live action Wonder Woman so far. So like, she needs more content. They just gave her a daughter in the comic books where Batman and Superman been had kids. They got Batman got 1. And then Superman got like 50 of them. You feel me? He don't got 50, but he got a lot. And then Wonder Woman just now had a kid. And I think they don't do enough with her, especially her being part of the Trinity, the big three. Like they treat her like people would be treating Chris Bosh. Like they don't ever talk about Chris Bosh when he was a big part of Miami. He winning those championships. That's basketball talk. Let's get back to the normal nerds. But Wonder Woman doesn't have enough content, especially being as dope as she is and the premier female superhero. Like, why are we not giving her more content? Why does she not have a video game? Because that would be fire. An animated series with Wonder Woman would slap. Why has that not happened? Especially when we love Greek gods and stuff like that. You can incorporate that into her story, bro. Like I think of a show like Blood of Zeus or Twilight of Gods on Netflix. Like stuff like that could easily be incorporated into Wonder Woman, and that could be fire. We would love it. We definitely need more live action. We're not even going to count Wonder Woman 2, just Wonder Woman 1. We definitely need more live action of Wonder Woman. Hopefully they have her in the new DCU. But there's no reason Wonder Woman doesn't have an animated series. There's no reason why Wonder Woman doesn't have more content in general. Like, she has some animated movies, but not even that many. Batman and Superman got like racks. Like, you go on HBO app. Just go on the HBO Max app and then go to DC and then look at all the animated movies. Like 20 of them is Batman, like 15 of them is Superman. The rest of them, like 6 of them is the rest of the Justice League. And I think there's like 1 Wonder Woman movie. You feel me? Like, she needs more content, especially if we're going to have her in the big 3. How can we call her in the big 3 if you're not even using her like she's in the big 3? I feel like we give Green Lantern the spot of the big 3. Green Lantern or Flash in that spot of big 3 before we even do Wonder Woman. So I think we need to put more respect to her name, especially she definitely need a game. The game need to come out. But tell me how y'all feel. Do y'all feel Wonder Woman gets the respect she deserves with being in the big 3 of DC? Do y'all even think she actually is in the big 3 of DC? Tell me what y'all feel about that. Okay, let's get back into some comic book talk, y'all. Let's get back into some comic book talk. And this past new comic book day, I believe that would be August 6th, new comic book day. Yes, August 6th. This new comic book came out called Ancestral Recall. And it's actually written by Jordan Clark. Let me make sure I'm not messing his last name up. Jordan Clark, all right? And I actually had a chance to meet him at the day it came out. He was actually signing the book at my local comic book store, Third Eye Comics, and I actually got to meet him and get the book signed. And I had to ask him some questions. And I didn't want to ask him too many questions because, of course, he's there selling a book and signing books. So I wanted people to be able to come up to him and not just me hogging all his time. But I asked him some questions. If you don't know about him, he was actually in the Milestone Initiative. where it's like contests where people get to be a part of this DC milestone DC Comics milestone initiative, where it took like all these creators of color and brought them together for different stories in DC, right? I actually applied to do it, and it didn't make it, but Jordan Clark was on there. I asked him about, being a part of that, and he was like, it was great being a part of that and also meeting other creators and black creators, and he said that was dope just to be there. And one of the questions I asked him is, in his comic Ancestral Recall, his character, his wife goes missing, right? And then he has this power where he can take black people throughout time and use their skills to help him find his wife. So it's like a story of black history, but he's using his power to take from black history, you feel me, and help him find his wife. And I asked him about that, how he got the idea from it. He was just like, yeah, he wanted to create a story about, where about black characters, about them just being black and it being a dope black story, and still having to do with history and stuff, and that's what he came up with, this story. And I thought that was really dope. It's definitely a story where we can look at it and it has to do with black history, where it doesn't feel like we're watching a slave movie or something like that. It doesn't feel like black trauma. That's what I wanted to say, like trauma porn for black people. And Ancestral Recall, it's very dope concept where you can take from history, take people's abilities from history and use it to help you now, right? And then, so I thought that was dope, especially with us as black people and showing us our history throughout time. I think that was dope, and I just really wanted to big up Jordan Clark, and he just seemed like a great person to meet and talk to. So I wanted to big that up. If you haven't checked it, Ancestral Recall is out now. It came out on August 6th. I'm going to start doing best comics of the month, and it's in the running for #1, the best comic of August. So definitely go check out Ancestral Recall, especially for my blurs. Definitely go check Ancestral Recall out. It's a great book that I think could be one of the best of the year by the time it's all said and done. So add it to your pull list, y'all. Talking about comics and pull lists, next up I really want to talk about some #1s that I think are interesting that already come out in the future. So by the time you see this, August 13th will be past, but August 13th on New Comic Day is actually, there's a couple comics that's coming out. Predator kills the Marvel Universe. So definitely check out, Marvel's been doing this whole line of putting like Spider-Man, Black Panther, and people against the Predator. Now it's the Predator against the Marvel Universe. All right, so definitely that's one that's really interesting. Valiant Comics Beyond, Bloodshot #1. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more after I talk about all the #1s that will be coming out. But definitely check out Valiant Comics Beyond, Bloodshot #1. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. And then August 20th, all new Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider comes out. So if you're a fan of Spider-Gwen, a book for her comes out also. Venom Black, White, and Blood. Now, if you don't know about the Black, White, and Blood series, it's this comic, I believe it's just Marvel. I've only seen Marvel so far, where like they have their heroes, some of their most, I think that's seen one with like Wolverine, Deadpool, Blade, I believe. They take some of their like vicious heroes, vicious characters, ones that have blood in their story. And the comic is basically black and white, except the blood and everything is red. And this actually been a dope concept that Marvel's been doing. I love these black, white, and blood comics. So Venom is getting one, and it comes out August 20th. Definitely check that out. More from Valiant Comics Beyond. Shadow Man #1 is coming out the 20th. I can't wait for that. The writer for that is actually pretty cool. AJ, I might mess up his last name, so I'm not going to say it, but he's actually pretty cool. He's on Twitter and everything, and I can't wait to read that. And also there's a comic called Eat Your Young, so I'm going to find out a little bit information about that, but that comes out as a #1 that comes out August 20th. All right, now this is #1 that looked really interesting to me, and from the synopsis of it, Edmund Irons names his 6-year-old daughter Elsa as the next alpha of his immortal clan. But every 100 years, during a brutal 27-day window known as the Centurium, the children have one chance to rip out his heart and claim the throne, or lose their mortality forever. Now, Edmund's 30 offspring. Yes, an iconic cast of genre archetypes like the Cold War spy, the serial killer, the vigilante, the punk rocker, and the billionaire futurist turn on their father. What? Turn on their father, each in a zero-sum battle for eternal life. Now, this joint just sounded dope to me. So this one actually comes out August 20th. It's called Eat Your Young, and I can't wait for that. It's the number one that comes out August 27th. Normally, like the last week of the month, there are no new number ones, especially I think this month has like 5 Wednesdays in it, I believe. So like that last Wednesday, there aren't really number ones that come out. There aren't really many calendars that come out. So there's not really any number ones for the 27th. But those are the number ones that'll be coming out August 13th and August 20th. I missed the 6th. I'll start trying to get these out at the start of the month. But those are some number ones you should be looking for. Okay, now that I talked about the number ones, I want to talk about Valiant Comics Beyond. Now, if you don't know about Valiant Comics is another comic book company. They are based like DC and Marvel. They have a connected universe of characters, include characters like Ninjak or Ninja K, whatever you call them, Bloodshot, Exo Manowar. They had this like one immortal guy, I can't remember his name. Harbinger. They had that. Shadow Man. There's some I'm missing, but they have a whole slew of just different comics in their universe, right? And they just redid this thing called The Resurgence of Valiant. I need to actually read that and see what happens, because now they're doing this thing called Valiant Beyond, where it's like a brand new jumping point for the heroes like Bloodshot, Exo Manowar, Shadow Man. You saw me mention those. These will be like, those are Shadow Man and Bloodshot are coming out in August. I believe Exo Manowar is coming out next month, and something else is coming out next month for Valiant Beyond. But this is a brand new starting point for these comics. It's a whole new universe. And the way I see, when I was reading, they said they're going to do is like, these are going to be limited series. Like I think 4 at a time, 4 or 5 at a time. So like Bloodshot will be a 4-shot limited series. And I think it will go on to another limited series after that. But it will just be continuous limited series, which I think is dope. I've been talking about this on this podcast where DC and Marvel mostly have been putting out these limited series where it's like one arc of a character, and that arc starts and it finishes. Like it's not a ongoing, it's one arc, and then they may do another arc afterwards where that will still be one arc. They did it with Shang-Chi, where he had different comics where it was like, okay, this is one arc, and then it will stop and it will restart with number one. I think it was like Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, Shang-Chi and the 5 Weapons, something like that. So I think that is dope what they were doing. I think it's dope that the Valiant universe is doing that with their characters. I love the Valiant universe. It's a dope universe. I love their characters. My only thing is I don't see Ninja K in this new Beyond. I don't see Ninjak in this new Beyond series at all. I haven't seen one for him. And I didn't really like the last Ninjak series, the solo series I had. Wasn't really feel that. I didn't like the artwork for it. But I thought he was going to be coming back, so that's why I got to read Resurgence. Maybe he died or something like that. But if you're looking to jump into a brand new comic book universe, the Valiant universe is starting this Beyond line that you can jump right into in August. All right, and if you want to go back and read their old comics, bro. It's really easy to start on they're basically like manga. They do have like different crossovers and stuff like that in brand new series, but you can just start from volume number 1 and go from there. But I'm hyped for this. I really hope that Valiant Comics can get an animated series or cinematic universe. They had the Bloodshot movie, but really think they should start with the Ninjak. But they had a Bloodshot movie. But I want them to actually get their heroes out there because I love the Valiant Comic universe, and I will continue to promote that. But definitely check that out, especially their Beyond series that's coming out. I'm ready to just spitfire I'm ready to spit fire. Like, I think I called this segment Yo Be Spitting, Yo is Spitting. But these are current topics I'm just going to spitfire and talk about. First, I talked about the first appearance of Jade Tiger in Batgirl number 9, who is the son of Bronze Tiger and Lady Shiva. I was very disappointed with his entry into the DC universe. They kind of made him that he can fight, but not really fight, because he has these skills and he's been taught how to fight, but he's never actually been in a fight where someone's trying to kill him. And I kind of was disappointed with that because I feel like he's not going to go, that this is not going to do anything with this character. I talked about it on my TikTok, but, and you can go to TikTok to see that, at Your Nerd on TikTok. But yeah, really disappointed with the Jade Tiger. Also disappointed with WWE. I'm not going to talk about how they're going in with ESPN. That could be a topic for later. But I'm so mad with how they underuse Karrion Kross and R-Truth. Like, they just did so much dumb stuff for fan favorites, bro. Karrion Kross, it was his whole Sami Zayn thing was so stupid. It was like y'all were trying to push him, and then just to have him lose to Sami Zayn, then to get him released, which Karrion Kross also put out a whole video talking about like the end of his WWE contract and stuff like that. It's actually a really good video. I think you should definitely check it out. He talks about how sometimes they didn't want him engaged with fans and stuff like that. Like, it was a crazy experience you need to watch, but that was crazy how they used him. They had him lose twice at pay-per-views to Sami Zayn and not even win one. Like, it seemed like there was no point in that. It was no point at all. And in R-Truth, what was the point of all of that to have him, to bring him back to say, hey, he's no longer R-Truth, he's like Ron Killings, and not even do nothing, not even have him use his old moveset, and then just to have Cena come back from being healed, just to have R-Truth go back to being comedic joke. Like, you had the chance to do something dope with R-Truth and have him come back and be like, hey, Ron Killings is driving. This is R-Truth, but Ron Killings is driving. Have him do his old moveset, have him do his have him talk like his old self, be his old self, and not just a joke and more of a serious wrestler. You literally did nothing with that. You brought him back for no reason. Should have just let him be gone. Should have just let him be gone. That's that on that. Next, let's go to, there's also news that My Adventures with Green Lantern. So if you watch My Adventures with Superman, that was a really dope show where they basically took Superman and did him very different from normal Superman, did their own thing with him. And some of the characters they use, like Deathstroke, using them different. They're doing a My Adventures with Green Lantern, and the main Green Lantern is Jessica Cruz. So that right there already tells you they're going to be doing something different with this show than we're used to. Like, using probably someone who's not even one of the most popular Green Lanterns, you feel me, and one of the newer Green Lanterns for the main of the show. And that shows that they're going to be doing something a lot different with this show. But I want to talk about the universe. I think this could be dope, and that you can bring in lesser known characters and give them an animated series with My Adventures with whoever. If you're giving Jessica Cruz a show, you can give other characters a show, like maybe Mr. Terrific, now that he got the popularity of Vixen. Yes, I'm mentioning black characters, but you can definitely do My Adventures universe with some lesser known characters and have that joint be dope. So I'm excited for My Adventures universe, my Adventures with animated universe. Next installment of that is the Green Lantern with Jessica Cruz. Last note that I'm gonna end this rant on, or me just spitting fire, Night Thrasher remix. Marvel just put out a new series for Night Thrasher, who's this black hero, very similar to Batman. Night Thrasher, he got a new limited series. It's actually pretty dope, and it actually ends with him having like his own team of heroes. It's like 3 of them, which I think could have been so dope to do, and I hope they continue with it, which they probably won't. But you should check out Night Thrasher remix. He's basically a Batman style character where he's a rich vigilante, and then this comic book series is him coming back from the dead, and then seeing the world that he's come back to and having to deal with that. And it's actually a very dope comic. Sets up a group of heroes at the end of it, black heroes, which I hope they do something with. But definitely check out Night Thrasher remix. The trade paperback, I believe, is out. I think I need to get it myself. I got the singles, but definitely get the trade paperback for that. And that actually ends off this episode of Yo We're Nerd, man. This was a great episode. I love talking about comics with y'all. I brought up some topics, and man, please hit up the comments. Please, let's talk about some of these topics that I brought up. Let's argue. Tell me y'all thoughts on them. Tell me how y'all feel about them. And like I say, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Please, the channel continues to grow. And definitely follow me everywhere. I put in the description where you can follow me: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. So thank y'all for watching episode 11 of the Yo Nerd podcast. I will be back for episode 12. Peace.